The orbital defense platforms around Kepler 442 be burned like dying stars, their metal skeletons twisting in the vacuum as the Krell armada pressed forward. Commander Elsa Morgensen watched the tactical display with the clinical detachment that 18 years of military service had beaten into her bones. 47 platforms destroyed, 60,000 personnel dead. The numbers kept climbing. "Ma'am, the third wave is breaking through Sector 9, Lieutenant David Chen reported, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "We've lost the moon base. Estimated time until they reach atmosphere, 11 minutes. 11 minutes. Elsa had spent 3 years on this colony world, watching it transform from a research outpost into humanity's most promising settlement. 2 million souls lived in the domed cities below, blissfully unaware that their atmosphere processors would soon become their crematoriums. "Status on the distress beacon?" Elsa asked. "Still broadcasting on all frequencies. No response from Earth or the outer colonies." David's fingers danced across his console. "Ma'am, they're too far. Even if they received it, help wouldn't arrive for weeks." "What about the others?" The bridge fell silent. Every officer present knew what the others meant. David's dark eyes met hers, and she saw the same calculation playing out in his mind that haunted hers. "The Terran Accords explicitly forbid." "I know what they forbid, Lieutenant." Elsa pulled up the classified file she'd hoped never to access, Protocol Omega. Her biometric scan unlocked layers of encryption, revealing a single quantum-entangled communication frequency. "The Accords also say we can request humanitarian intervention in cases of imminent extinction events." "Ma'am, the Krell have ship-killer weapons. Standard defensive forces can't." "I'm not calling standard defensive forces." Elsa's finger hovered over the transmission key. "I'm calling them." David went pale. "The humans." Every species in the Galactic Assembly knew about humans, though few had ever encountered them. They were the nightmare that parents of a dozen worlds whispered about to frighten unruly children. The species that had taken a death world and made it their paradise. The ones who had looked at their own fragile biology and decided to improve it with cybernetics, genetic engineering, and sheer stubborn refusal to accept limitations. Earth had joined the Assembly 50 years ago with a simple declaration. They would defend any sentient species facing extinction, but they would do so their way. The Terran Accords had been drafted specifically to contain them, to keep their violent solutions away from civilized warfare. "We're not human," Elsa said quietly, watching another platform die on her screen. "We're Kepler Colonial Authority. We're the descendants of the original colony ship from Earth, 3 generations removed. We're civilized." "We're civilized," David corrected, his jaw set. "Before we left Earth to escape what humanity was becoming." A proximity alarm shrieked. The Krell Vanguard had entered weapons range of the planet itself. 8 minutes. Elsa pressed the key. The quantum channel opened with a sound like breaking glass. "This is Commander Elsa Morgensen, Kepler Colonial Authority, requesting immediate humanitarian intervention under Protocol Omega. We have incoming hostile fleet, 2 million civilians in imminent danger, and insufficient defensive capability. Please respond." Static, nothing but the hiss of quantum foam across interstellar distances. Then, request acknowledged, Commander. Human Expeditionary Fleet Valkyrie is responding. ETA to your position, 6 minutes. David's head snapped up. 6 minutes? That's impossible. The nearest human listening post is 3 light-years away. "Humans don't follow conventional physics recommendations," the voice replied, carrying an accent that made Elsa's spine straighten with ancestral recognition. "Old Earth, North American continent. We've had a rapid response fleet shadowing your system since the Krell entered your sector. We were hoping you wouldn't need us." The tactical display lit up like a supernova. Between one sensor sweep and the next, 7 massive signatures appeared in high orbit. not ships emerging from faster-than-light travel. They'd been there all along. Hidden by technology, the Kepler colonies had deliberately left behind when their ancestors departed Earth. Valkyrie actual to all Krell vessels. A new voice transmitted on open channels, female and utterly calm. You are in violation of Terran-protected space. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawal, or we will demonstrate why the Terran Accords exist. The Krell response was predictable. Their philosophy allowed no retreat, no negotiation. 300 warships opened fire simultaneously on the 7 human vessels. What happened next would be studied by military academiers for generations. The human ships didn't dodge. They didn't need to. Point defense systems of such precision and speed that they appeared as solid walls of light intercepted every projectile, every energy beam, every kinetic round. Railgun slugs that could crack moons were vaporized. Plasma torpedoes were detonated harmlessly against gravitational lensing that bent space itself. And then the humans returned fire. David watched his sensor readings with disbelief. Ma'am, those energy signatures. They're using contained antimatter reactions for propulsion. Their weapons are generating localized quantum vacuum fluctuations. That's technology we theorized was impossible. We theorized lots of things were impossible, Elsa murmured. We were wrong. The human ships moved through the Krell formation like surgical scalpels, their weapons firing with mathematical precision. They didn't destroy ships, they disabled them. Reactor cores were shut down with electromagnetic pulses. Weapons systems were selectively melted. Life support remained intact. In 4 minutes, 300 Krell warships became 300 floating coffins, their crews alive but utterly helpless. Valkyrie actual to Kepler Colonial Authority. Threat neutralized. We're transmitting shield frequencies to protect your remaining platforms. Humanitarian relief ships will arrive within the hour to assist with recovery operations. Elsa found her voice. Thank you, Valkyrie actual. We thought you would. Would what? Commit genocide. Commander, humanity learned that lesson the hard way. The voice carried weight, old pain. We became what we are not to destroy, but to ensure no one else had to. We're not the monsters your ancestors fled. We're what they hoped their children would become, just by a different path. The channel closed, and the human fleet began recovery operations, their ships moving with inhuman grace among the debris. David finally spoke. We called the species everyone feared, and they saved us. Elsa watched a human rescue team deploy toward a damaged platform where her people were trapped. No, she said softly. We called the species everyone feared, and we remembered why fear and respect are different things. Below them, 2 million souls went about their lives, unaware of how close they'd come to extinction, or who had stood between them and oblivion. The species everyone feared had become the species everyone needed.